Is the housing market going to crash this year?
The reality is this, guys, the housing market is not going to crash. First of all, I went back to 1942 and I recorded every year's home appreciation levels. Then I highlighted in red every year that had negative appreciation. By crashing, that means the housing prices are going down. Look through the history. Since 1942, there's only been one time the housing market has ever gone down or negative, and that was the crash of 2008. Why is that crash of 2008 not going to happen again? What lenders were doing back then is crazy. I would say unethical. First of all, you could buy a house with 0% down. People were doing crazy things like builders were saying if you buy a house, you get a new Honda Accord in your garage, or you buy a house and we furnish it with everything. Well, those builders were not giving away cars for free, and they weren't giving away furniture for free, and they weren't paying all your closing costs for free. What they were doing is they were adding that to the cost of the house. So you were actually paying more than the house was worth. That's how you got that kind of stuff. That's a big problem. Secondly, lenders were allowing you to buy a house with zero money down. So literally for no cash, you could go in, have the seller pay all your closing costs, and you are out of pocket nothing, and you could buy a house. On top of the no money down, now that means you have no equity. That's a big deal, no equity. Thirdly, they were offering you things like introductory rates. So for the first 3 to 5 years, maybe your rate's 3.5%, but then it goes up to 5.5%. Fourth, they're doing interest only payments. So when you bought the house, you could pay interest only, and then after 3 to 5 years, you'd switch it to an interest plus principal. Imagine though if you got hit double with the rate incentive and the interest only incentive. That means you bought the house and after 3 years or 5 years, your payments almost doubled because your rate went from 3.5 to maybe 5.5, and your payment went from interest only to interest and principal. Those buyers were not informed, and so when their mortgage costs went up, they simply were not able to afford it. That meant they had to get rid of their properties. And by getting rid of the properties, they couldn't sell it on the open market because they didn't have enough equity to cover the realtor fees, and they also didn't have enough equity in there to lower the price or incentivize anybody, and they certainly weren't giving anybody a free Honda Accord if they bought their house. Well, now they don't have enough cash to lower the price and pay the realtor fees and get out of this house, so their only other option, short sell or foreclosure. So a massive spike in short sales and foreclosures, and what we got as a result of that is the only time in the market where we have seen home prices go down. This is why I can be so confident that it's not gonna happen again. If you wanna stay informed and you want a lender that actually tracks and studies the market and has the data available to properly answer your questions, reach out to us, follow us, stay up to date on our educational videos, because what I'm doing is providing real world answers to real world problems and advising people on how to make sure they're getting the best structure and the best deal for them on their purchase.